I am here to go over the week. First of all, tomorrow starts the Feldenkrais Awareness Summit. It is changing, transforming, changing possibilities into transforming whatever for special needs parents. Why, for the life of me, I just can't remember what it is. Someone will tell me in the tags. I am talking tomorrow. I have a free course called Vision in Your Child. A lot of my courses and videos that I do are here just to help you. Now, I started off on YouTube years ago, back in '09, right? I actually worked with John Jay and Rich, John Jay. So John Jay is a local video DJ here, and he's about syndicated about 5 cities. Anyway, it was like November. I was finishing up my training in April, but he hurt his foot at a concert, and he was the biggest baby on the radio. My foot, I can't wear my socks, I can't. So I sent him an email saying, I'll fix your foot. Because of all the things I do a lot of good lessons. You take me anyway, but I do really good feet and hands. Everybody who appreciates it, I don't know, but that being said. And it went back and forth, and finally I was like, sir, I feel like a stalker. Either let me fix your foot or start, be quiet. I was willing to come to whatever. So he calls me and says, hi, it's John Jay, come to my house. And I'm like, you want a complete stranger coming to your house? I mean, no offense, if you're that popular, I'm from New York, you do not let people into your house. You meet them somewhere, go to their clinic, so I said, if anybody else wants a lesson, come on down. So I worked on his mother. She's since passed away with a brain tumor, but anyway. So I worked on him and her, and they went out to dinner afterwards, and what'd you think? And then she's like, oh, she was really nice, but I didn't notice anything. And I don't think people realize not only how gentle I am, or we are, but how gentle this work is and how effective it is. This isn't about no pain, no gain. This is no pain, gain, right? This movement lesson offers something to everybody. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a live on that because I saw someone post, now the audacity post, that crying during therapy is a necessity because that means the brain is working, and I just, that's the one thing. Anybody, please, if you've come to this clinic, I want you to say right now, that's the one thing I'm the most proudest of. You do not hear, nobody cries in this office, knock wood. If they're hungry, or maybe they're about to get sick or something, or maybe they missed their nap cycle, for the point of being in therapy, there's no crying here. Because it's movements that are happening. So anyway, John Jay's mom was in a car accident a year prior and had lost range of motion in her neck. She could no longer look left or right. She'd been to chiropractors, and she also been to Barrow's neurological clinic. And John Jay looked at her and goes, Mom, your neck's fixed. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. And so he went off about me on the radio. And that's really how it all started. But he was a card. I've worked on his whole family. Matter of fact, the one that he doesn't talk about too much, his son was at risk for autism, he was 4, and he was pretty much nonverbal. And I worked on him on a Thursday. He was in the middle of the living room, at his house. It was crazy. He's the oldest of 3 kids, so if you can imagine a 4, a 2-year-old, and a 0-year-old at the time. And John Jay asked me if he was going to see one of my miracles, and I'm like, what? He goes, did you do something? I'm like, I don't know. It was to me, it was a zoo, And I've been hit at his house they were all dressed up for Indiana Jones for Halloween. I had whips at me. I've had Star Wars things. I mean, the kids were something, as all boys are. Anyway, I was about to leave, and I'd forgotten my chair, and his son said, lady, you forgot your chair. Can I bring it to the car for you? I'm like, oh, thanks. John Jay just started crying. I'm like, what? He's like, you don't understand. He just doesn't talk to anybody, much less be nice to them. And so that was Thursday. Monday, the school calls and said, what did you do to my kid? This kid, can you make him shut up now? He went from, we can't get him to he doesn't shut up. And actually, I think he was 6 at the time. His brother was 4 and 2. So that was the reality. So anyway, you know, I work with all sorts of people all around the world, but John Jay was the one who said, why don't you have a video camera? So he created this monster, and literally, I think I went out and bought a camcorder. Probably didn't have the money for it. You'd think that I went out to sell my cow and came back with 3 magic beans as far as my family situation went. And the rest, as they say, is history. So I've just been doing these videos for the sake of just helping you, right? I do have now courses because people really want, Michelle, tell me what to do here, 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 and we do it. And we've gone extensive. We teach people how to be me with the movement lesson trainings, but also the cognitive vision guys, the cranial courses. There's so much gold that you can be doing right now to further your career or help your child. So anyway, that's the whole thing with it. So tomorrow I'm talking with or reviewing all the PowerPoint presentations that I have in the Vision and Your Child course. So this includes going through CVI, delayed maturation, nearsighted, farsighted. So if you have a weak or a strong binocular vision or convergence, and what age and developmental movements are at, because I don't think people realize, and we'll be going over one case today, how vision affects your developmental milestones, right? If you have issues with rolling over and you have what you might say is a lazy eye, but astigmatism, rolling over is going to be very difficult. It really is, because with the rolling over, the vision has to, like you're throwing the ball versus this. And so it changes the whole dynamics within the system just based off of your vision. And it all comes in handy. So you have me for an hour. You actually have 30 guest speakers, and it's all free. We're all coming out of the woodworks to help you. Transforming challenges into possibilities with special needs parents. That's the name of the summit. So, do it, get it. At least it wasn't 3 a.m. And so, anyway, please join me tomorrow. Please sign up. The link below will be in there. You don't have to buy a thing. You do have to sign up because they're going to tell you when to come in, and there's a schedule, and you know. But if you do want to purchase it at a well, as part of the bonus, you actually get my patching course. And that'll be part of, so basically, they're just even, I think, getting the course just with that pays for itself. Anyway, I can't thank you enough for all of that, so I'd like to start reviewing the videos. Right now, I'm going to start off with Vanessa. Now, Vanessa comes to me, or I've been seeing Vanessa. Vanessa's been in part of my trainings. She's been here at the clinic, and so I've been with her family now for, what, year and a half, 2 years? And her son's hips came in pretty alarming, and so that she was nice enough to post. And I really do appreciate, first of all, how nice you are to everybody who posts. I do watch the posting quite viciously to make sure that it doesn't get into, you know, you shouldn't have done that, you should do that, coming into play. The hips look like they're subluxed, right? They're coming out of the socket. However, what I'm looking at with the hips, and I just wanted to explain this a bit better because it's a condition called coxavalga. So the hips should be at about 125-degree angle into the hip joints. As a matter of fact, I'm getting so passionate about this. I love your feedback, but I'm thinking about doing a complete hip course on functional movement and hip anatomy and structure of the hips, and also to teach movement through pelvis. So when the hips are like this, right, this is walking, not this. This is walking, right? The angles of the hips have to be so. So when the angles change, it changes not only the dynamics of the stand, coming to sitting, this possible scoliosis, the vision. You know, structure is structure. I was explaining to Jessie today. Jessie's my new assistant. When like my house right now is on desert, so my structure is a concrete slab. I don't have a basement because I don't have a frost zone. I have a 1-story. You could not change that structure into a skyscraper, right? It wouldn't, the way my house was built, it was not built to be more than a story. And that seems obvious. It really is not mathematically much different than the human body. So I'm not saying that you can't be made a little bit different and just do something a little bit different and get away with it. But when a child has other challenges, then it just adds up. So her hips are going straight. So they've made comments that it's the pull or the tightness, which could be possibly pulling the hip joint out. But in that case, actually, it's the legs that are straight and can't go in, right? So my concerns would be that if left like that, first of all, the hip joint's not going to form, but you can address it as like an SPML kind of thing. And that's why I've made some comments before when I'm seeing some hips and people are jumping in. SPML is probably one of the most gorgeous, new advancements with hips, but that doesn't mean it's appropriate for everything. Just like if you have a stomach ache, I wouldn't take out your appendix for everybody, and it might solve the problem for some, but in others, that's just not the case. So my suggestion is, though, too, seeing Max has a rare form of muscular dystrophy, her son, and he's brilliant. He he knows 3 languages, he's clever, he's he really is, you're all special, but again, going into it, I would be concerned, not that I jump to surgery, but especially if you have someone, there's a lot of kids with these kind of conditions that even though they need the hips done or something like that, the doctors walk away. They just say the child won't stand, why bother? I would be concerned of long-term that if avoided the surgery, would this, compromise his mobility because he is independently sits, he does all these things, to possibly that he scoliosis or won't be able to maintain those kind of things just due to the structure of the pelvis. So that's where my comments were getting at. And by all means, I hope that made sense. Sometimes when I type versus the way I say it is different. Hans. Now, your question is, how do I get the arms to move better, right? What I'd like to say with that is actually, Jess, I'm going to go down to baby time.
Okie dokie.
Let me put this down. When you're working with your infant's movements, right, most people think that the infant's movements has to do with what you're seeing and what you want to affix. So right now you want her arms to move better. But really, something has happened. There's a glitch going on within her upper thorax, her upper back, right? So I have these great videos. They're free, Baby Basics. And what I want you to go in there specifically is working on anything to start opening up the upper thorax. A baby will not do movements that are difficult or that hurt them. So if they find something to be difficult, now the combination of difficult might be I'm in my car seat, I go to reach for those glasses or something like that, I'm pinned down on a 5-point harness, I can't reach over. I will never as a baby try and reach for that again. Because the brain, again like math, 1 + 1 = 0, knows that it can't work and it won't try and bypass that. So the more and more that she's struggling to move her arms, because that's what she wants to do and that's what you want her to do, but she cannot say, get my damn back to move, excuse my French. And that's what needs to happen. If that back doesn't move and start doing these kind of movements, you're not gonna get this with the arms, right? She's literally, it's almost like someone's pinned her, and just like if I pinned you and you would just be like that with the arms. So, but she doesn't know what to work on because she's a baby. And this is where you're coming here for those kind of things. Please, 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 it has to be done through the chest cavity, not range of motions, and this is not a reflex thing. I really will stand my ground on this. Please do not do that because you're not affecting the back, right? When a baby goes to reach for something, what actually happens, and she can't do because the upper back hasn't kicked in, the scapula, like if I'm reaching up my right hand, the scapula goes in from my left, and that's what pushes to brings my arms out. she's not sitting here doing this, and so that's what happens is that we dangle and we expect this to happen. There actually should be a pump, right? And that's why it's so important that they grab their feet. It's one of the most overlooked milestones because it should be a pump. Not just I grab my foot up, I'm bent in half, but a pump, because that opens up the pelvis, right? And then if that doesn't happen, that's where you're now complaining to me, why isn't my child going into all fours? So I really, and I need to catalog this better, but the details in the birth to 3 month are so crucial into the movements that it shouldn't be getting to this stage. If that doesn't help, honestly, you know, rolling over course should help you some. I wouldn't mind a personal Skype because she's too intelligent to be doing that. This is a structure thing, and she needs help because she's not going to bypass it. Jessica, so with rolling over help, thank you for getting the rolling over course, but also what is going on is your charter has, more so on the right side, astigmatism. Astigmatism is when the eye can't find central vision. So the eyes, and you guys will learn this tomorrow on the summit if you do it, transforming challenges into possibilities for special needs parents. Now I'm going to say it 5 times fast. So the central vision, right, comes here with the baby first, and then it goes into a binocular vision, right? What's happening with your daughter is the eyes are literally doing this, but more so that right eye wants to turn in. Now, she should have been to an ophthalmologist by now, but I get it. There's COVID, there's this, there's that. Maybe you didn't know. I would strongly suggest you see a pediatric ophthalmologist. Again, in the vision course, even if you don't do the summit, in the vision course, and this is what I review at the summit though, is a PDF download on how to handle your ophthalmologist appointment, tips on how to do that. And I really think it's essential. We need to check her structure and acuity, but I also need to know if they're going to suggest a patching course. I have a patching course, or I really would strongly suggest it. But again, without knowing the structure of her eyes, it would be difficult. But when she's going to roll over, rolling over is a visual thing. So I see something, and ooh, I'm on my belly. Ooh, I see something, I come back. That's what rolling over is. You should not see a child roll over, get their head stuck, all of that. It just doesn't work. When those are happening, you might think they're working on rolling over. Now, baby doesn't wake up to say, hey, I want a cold one, it's in the fridge, much less that it says, I want to roll over today. It's all about responding to stimuli, and it might be a light, it might be a toy, whatever it is, but they want to get it, right? And so, but what happens when the vision is off is now you go here, and that's where, because again, she should be looking up, and the eyes come up. That's not going to happen with astigmatism. It's going to be very difficult. And that's where, too, that rolling over course that you've got, hopefully is really starting to help you understand that, you know, like the little girl that's in the pink in the video, to show why, again, and that coming back is more of a fall and what you need to work with. Amari, thank you again for coming. So, we want to get into a pre-crawl into all fours. This is a course that I'm working on. When a child is coming into pre-crawl, now I can't hold my doll's head up. The lesson that you want to work on is you're just under the breast tissue, the chest, and just starting to go to the knees, right? You want that weight transfer. Now you can have him there and he's playing and all of that, that's fine. But it's a draw like this, rotational draw to the knees and then pump back again. Now eventually you're looking for is this. But to go into a crawl, they have to be able, the human body, the human brain, this is a combination, has to be able to get in and out of the position, and then it also has to know how to weight transfer, right? And that's why babies at first, they kind of do this rock and they bounce first, way before they take off, because that's what they're working on is a weight transfer, right? The other thing is that a baby also needs to be able to do that you want to work on. And this again is going to be a little bit harder because his chest is heavier, so I would go with that one first, is they should be able to go from sitting all the way into and just rotate into the pre-crawl position and come back again. See how they can transition, right? It's not about just getting a baby into all fours, but your child needs to be able to transition into those things. But I would start with the other one first because of working with him and knowing that his chest still is a bit heavy, and where I would work on him. Those would be the two places that I would be going. That is it for today. So we covered Vanessa, Hans, Jessica, and Amari. I can't thank you enough for posting your videos and doing what you need to do. I have tons of courses to help you at different stages. I'm updating for those that have it and those that need it, the boot camp, more into Movement Lesson 101. I'm working on the pre-crawl and the tummy time course to help you with that. There's some things that I'm working on. We're finishing up, we had to translate Movement Lesson now into Russian. We're down now 3 segments. Now we have to translate segment 4. The dates will be up shortly for all the new year. We're now actually get excited for March because we're going to be going into Spanish. We're going to get those transcribed into Spanish. And speaking of Spanish, although it doesn't matter, just a shout out to Claudia. Claudia's down south in Mexico. She's been posting some of the lives this week because she's getting stem cells with her son. And she's just talking about how movement lesson and stem cells can benefit one another. And so her posts have been really cool. So you should look for her post as well. Erin's going down the stairs for the first time independently this week. So, and it looks like she's got some good sunshine. I can't thank you enough for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Again, transforming challenges into possibilities of special needs parents. It is a Feldenkrais Summit, but I've been asked to come in. And I'm talking about vision in your child, and I speak tomorrow. I think the guest speakers, again, because it's a free, and it's a lot, there's 30 of us, I think I queue up for about 24 hours, so please do the link. It isn't an affiliate link, but again, it's completely free. You have an opportunity to buy the course if you find it all valuable, and which I also recommend for your portfolio for later, because that's another thing with all of this information. You might have a 6-month-old, so today was great, right? But then all of a sudden, 6 months from now, you're going, oh, what did she say about that hip stuff? You know, and it's all there. It's all valuable. All this is for you guys. If you have any questions, as always, I do best with the video. I'm a movement specialist, so that's what I go off of.